I saw this tweet the other day from my man Andrew Baidala, who's a good follow on Twitter. If you guys are out there in the Twitter space, he does a YouTube show where he takes wrestling calls and with JD from NY, who's a very popular wrestling commentator. He has a lot of information about business related wrestling conversations and sports betting, all types of fun stuff. Andrew's a good follow. You can follow him at Andrew Baidala. So he dropped this tweet the other day and it just really caught my eye. So I wanted to talk about this. So the tweet says, more #WrestleMania packages are being made available today. Prices range from $800 upper level per ticket to $30,000 plus. Oh, $30,000 plus for the front row. The suite and front row ticket packages have already sold out. Those are the top two price points from On Location and WWE. WWE has also added, and then there's a little flyer for the priority pass from On Location. Attend an exclusive pre-WrestleMania 40 party with The Undertaker. Okay, that's included in the Gold, Champion, and Elite packages. Shout out to Andrew for the information. And that's crazy because I responded to that tweet. I said, man, $30K for wrestling tickets is crazy. It's crazy. And he agreed, but you know what? To his point, it was sold out. It's sold out. So listen, I love wrestling, okay? I love wrestling. The majority of my podcast, my content is about wrestling. I've been watching wrestling ever since I was a kid, growing up in rural North Carolina, okay? I grew up in the NWA territories, and I just, wrestling has always just been, something I've been a big fan of. I love the art of it, the performance of it. It's fun. I have little kids now. I get my kids into it. It's just a fun thing to watch. So I'm not hating, okay? I'm not hating. This is America, and the freedom to gouge customers for your product, okay, is what our politicians fight for every day, okay? Give it up for America. This is what we do here. This is what we do, all right? So good for them, right? And by the way, those prices are on par with major sporting events. All you got to do is go into your Google machine, go into your search bar on Google. I'm sorry, not even on Google, on Twitter or anything, right? And search NBA Finals ticket, and you'll see tweets for what it costs to sit courtside at whatever arenas are hosting the NBA Finals. Google Super Bowl ticket, and you'll see stories about what it costs to sit at the Super Bowl, okay? Google ticket to the NCAA Final Four, and you'll see stories. So WWE is not, they're not doing anything that other major sporting events are doing. They're not doing anything that's unique in that way. I paid a good amount of money for my recent trip to WrestleMania 39 in California. It was, man, it was a good time. Shout out to California. WrestleMania in Hollywood for sure. But it was a good time. But you know what? I got to give them their credit because it was worth it. It was an amazing experience. Yes, I spent too much money, but yes, it was an amazing experience. Both days of the show, okay? The time I got to spend with my wife, riding bikes down the boardwalk, going to see Venice Beach, getting to meet up with some of my boys. That was a good time. Again, both days of the show. By the time we got to the main event on Sunday night, right, the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes matchup, it felt like being inside of a movie. It was phenomenal. I got to give them credit. It was a absolutely one-of-a-kind experience that, I'm not going to lie, it was worth the money. To me, it was worth the money. But here's the thing. I wouldn't go much higher than that. What I paid for the tickets that I had, my tickets were right off the risers on the hard camera side, right? So facing the hard camera, but right above the riser section. Great seats. what I paid for those seats would have probably gotten me front row in Orlando a couple of years ago or close to it. And for me, going on this trip was kind of like the culmination of something I had been waiting for a long time. I went to the Wrestlemania in Orlando with a bunch of my boys, and I love California. I live in Connecticut. I grew up in North Carolina. Every time I've been to California, I'm like, oh man, I love this place. I see how people, visit here and never want to leave. Like, it's just, it's amazing. So like any opportunity to go to California, I'm always with it. Well, LA, let me just say LA. I don't know about all California, but any opportunity to go out to LA, I'm with it, right? So I had been wanting to go to this WrestleMania for a very long time. And that's kind of what pushed me over to, splurge on these tickets. But I just don't see me doing that again. I mean, who knows what kind of money I'll be making in the future, where that just might not seem like a thing to me. But right now, I just can't see me spending that kind of money to go again, right? Like, this was a big deal, this trip, something I had waited for a very long time. And so I just wanted to do it. I had been waiting for years to go to this LA WrestleMania, and so I did it. But the problem is that I'm just not looking forward to the trickle-down effect this is going to have across the board on WWE shows. I'm not looking forward to the way this is going to raise prices to go to Raw when it comes to my town, to go to SmackDown when it comes to my town, or even to a live event. Like, I've been waiting to go to a live event with my kids for a really long time because I really want them to have that experience of like sitting front row at a live event, getting the high fives of wrestlers and all of that stuff. But now that they're charging so much for WrestleMania, they're going to charge even more for Raws. They're going to charge even more for live events. So by the time that they do come to Bridgeport, Connecticut or Hartford, Connecticut for a house show on a random Saturday, they're going to be charging what I paid to go see Money in the Bank at the Hartford Coliseum in 2019, right? Like, this is just one of them things that it affects the regular working fans disproportionately. Because if you're the type of person if you could have afforded a $5,000 front row seat, you could probably afford a $30,000 front row seat, because just once you're spending that kind of money, like, it just doesn't affect you. The problem is that it affects the regular Joe fan, right? The regular Joe fan, who, by the way, are the people who have been filling these arenas for years, that have allowed WWE to prop itself up to sponsors and become the blue chip brand that it is today. So I get it. This is America, and whatever you do, don't stop the flow of the dollar. But it just feels like the regular fan gets left in the dust with some of these decisions that get made. But hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I've gone to 3 WrestleManias. They've been, a lot of fun. I kind of had a bucket list thing where I wanted to go to a Royal Rumble because it's one of my favorite events, and I really wanted to go see one. But listen, the way this is looking, who knows if that will or won't happen, maybe one day. But I got to say, it's just a little bit of a bummer. It's a little bit of a bummer. But, good for WWE. Make your money. You just sold to Endeavor, and I'm sure they just want to get that stock price up as much as possible. They want to show that they had record profits every year. So they'll charge all they can for tickets, and they'll probably still release a bunch of talent this upcoming spring. So shout out to WWE. It's a great time to be a fan.